Most Excel teach you how to write formulas. This video is different. We're going to explain what these functions actually do. Once you understand the job each one performs, you'll know exactly when to use it. And that's when Excel becomes much easier.
Hi, I am the XLOOKUP function. What job do I do? I find the correct record in one table and return the related information from that same record. Perfect whenever one piece of information identifies a record and you need something else from it. How I do my job. I start at the first row of your lookup column and compare the value you've asked me to find with each record, one by one. If the record doesn't match, I move down to the next row and try again. When I find the correct record, I stop searching. I then move across that same row to the column you've asked for and return the information. Because I search for the record itself, rather than a fixed position, I continue to work correctly even if your data is sorted, expanded, or rows are inserted or deleted. Typical business uses. Look up customer details from a customer number. Return product descriptions, prices, or stock levels from a product code. Find employee information using an employee ID. Retrieve invoice details from an invoice number. Bring information together from different tables instantly. Why learn me? I can save hours of manual searching. I work left or right, unlike VLOOKUP. I continue working even when your data changes. I make spreadsheets easier to build, maintain, and understand. Think of me as the office's expert finder. I quickly find the correct record and return exactly the information you need.
Hi, I am SUMIFS function. What job do I do? I add up numbers, but only when every condition you give me is true. I'm perfect whenever you need totals for specific records that match several rules. How I do my job, I start at the first row of your table or list. For each row, I check every condition you've given me. If even one condition isn't met, I ignore that row and move on. If every condition is met, I take the value you want me to total and add it to my running total. I repeat this process until I reach the last row, then I return the final answer. Example. Imagine you're analyzing thousands of sales records. Your manager asks, "What were our laptop sales in Dublin?" I go down every row in the table. For each record, I check. Is the region Dublin? Is the product laptop? If the answer to both questions is yes, I add that sale to my running total. If either answer is no, I ignore that row and continue searching. When I reach the bottom of the table, I return the total sales for laptops in Dublin. Typical business uses. Total sales by region and product. Total expenses by department and category. Total orders by customer and status. Why learn me? I give accurate totals every time. I handle multiple conditions automatically. I work with almost any business data, and I can save hours of manual filtering and adding. Think of me as the office's careful accountant. I check every rule before I add every number.
Hi, I am the if and ifs function. What job do I do? I make decisions based on rules and return the appropriate result. How I do my job. For every record, I test your conditions. If function asks one question. Is this condition true? If the answer is yes, I return one result. If the answer is no, I return another. Ifs function goes further. Instead of asking one question, I keep asking a series of questions until one of them is true. Then I return the matching result. I repeat the same decision process for every row, applying your rules consistently and accurately across the entire table. Typical business uses. Paid or unpaid invoice status. Pass, merit, or distinction, exam grades. New or existing customer labels. Bonus, commission, or discount calculations. Risk, priority, or approval classifications. Why learn me? I replace thousands of manual decisions with consistent business rules that are applied automatically across every record. If you remember one thing, if makes one decision, ifs function can make many. Both apply your business rules consistently every time.
Hi, I am the pivot table tool. What job do I do? I turn a large list into useful summaries and reports. How I do my job. I read the source data and group records that belong together. If you ask for sales by region, I group all records by region and calculate totals for each region. If you ask for sales by product, I regroup the same data by product. I can count total, average, find maximums, and break results down by dates, categories, departments, or customers. I do not change the original data. I create a summary view on top of it, so the same raw list can answer many different business questions. I am also one of the safest tools in Excel to use. Typical business uses: sales by region, product, customer, month, or salesperson. Cost by department, project, supplier, or account code. Customer analysis by spend, location, or product bought. Training attendance by course, company, trainer, or venue. Management dashboards and monthly reports. Why learn me? I can instantly create hundreds of reports from your dataset, creating new insights. If your job entails data analysis, you must learn and master this tool. If you remember one thing, I turn raw data into answers quickly.
Hi, I am the COUNTIFS function. What job do I do? I count how many records meet your conditions. How I do my job. I inspect the table, row by row. For each row, I check whether all of your conditions are met. If the row matches all the conditions, I add 1 to my count. If it does not match, I ignore it and move on. I do not add money or quantities. I simply count the number of matching records. At the end, I return the number of rows that passed your rules. Typical business uses. Count new customers, active customers, or customers by region. Count overdue invoices or unpaid accounts. Count bookings by course, month, company, or venue. Count open tasks, complaints, leads, or stock items below reorder level. Why learn me? I replace manual counting and give dashboards the counts they need to monitor activity. If you remember one thing, I count only the records that meet your conditions.
Hi, I am the filter function. What job do I do? I create a live list containing only the records you want. How I do my job. I scan each row in the original table and test it against your condition. If the row matches, I copy that row into the result. If it does not match, I leave it out. The important point is that I do not create a dead copy. I create a live result. If the original table changes, the filtered list updates as well. Typical business uses. Live list of unpaid or overdue invoices. Open leads for one salesperson. Courses running next month. Products below minimum stock level. Tasks due this week or projects at risk. Why learn me? I remove the need to repeatedly filter, copy, and paste lists for different users or reports. If you remember one thing, I show only the records you need.
Hi, I am the if function. Nice to see you again. I want to introduce you to 3 friends of mine, the and, or, and the not functions. What job do they do? They test multiple conditions and reverse logical results when needed. How do they do their job? And checks a group of tests and returns true only if every test is true. Or checks a group of tests and returns true if at least one test is true. Not reverses a logical result, turning true into false and false into true. Together, they are often used with me, but also with the ifs, filters, and validation rules to express real business logic more clearly. Typical business uses. Approval rules with several conditions. Eligibility checks for discounts or bonuses. Compliance checks. Data validation rules. Status decisions involving several fields. Excluding records or identifying exceptions with not. Why learn them? We allow Excel to apply realistic business rules by combining conditions and handling exceptions. If you remember one thing, We test whether all rules pass, any rule passes, or whether a result should be reversed.
Hi, I am the Power Query tool. What job do I do? I collect, clean, reshape, and prepare data automatically before you analyze it. How I do my job. I import data from spreadsheets, databases, websites, CSV files, and many other sources. I then clean and transform it by removing duplicates, fixing errors, splitting or combining columns, filtering rows, merging tables, and reshaping the data into the format you need. Every step is remembered, so when new data arrives, you simply press refresh, and I repeat the entire process automatically. I leave your original data untouched and create a clean, reliable version ready for pivot tables, charts, formulas, or reports. Typical business uses: cleaning exported reports before analysis, combining monthly or weekly files into one master table, removing duplicates and correcting inconsistent data, merging customer, sales, or product lists from different systems, preparing data for pivot tables, dashboards, and Power BI, automating repetitive data preparation tasks. Why learn me? I can eliminate hours of repetitive copy and paste work and ensure your data is clean the same way every time. If you regularly work with large or messy data sets, I can transform your productivity. If you remember one thing, I turn messy data into analysis-ready data automatically.
Hi, I am the sort and sort by function. What job do I do? I arrange records into the order you need. How I do my job. I take the source data and return it in a new order. I can sort text alphabetically, numbers from high to low, dates from oldest to newest, or records using more than one rule. Sort usually sorts by a position in the output. Sort by can sort using another column or calculation, even if that column is not part of the final display. Typical business uses: highest sales first, oldest unpaid invoices first, customers in alphabetical order, tasks ordered by deadline or priority, stock items ordered by lowest quantity. Why learn me? I keep reports organized automatically instead of making users sort manually every time data changes. If you remember one thing, I put information in the order people need to read it.
Hi, I am the unique function. What job do I do? I create a clean list of distinct items from a longer list. How I do my job. I read down a list and remember what I have already seen. The first time I see a customer, product, supplier, or department, I keep it. If I see the same item again, I ignore the repeat. The result is a shorter list containing one version of each item. Typical business uses: create a customer list from sales transactions, list products sold during a period, list suppliers used by the business, create department, region, town, or category lists. Why learn me? I quickly turn messy transaction data into clean, unique lists that can be analyzed. If you remember one thing, I remove repeats and leave one clean with no duplicates.
Index match, X match, the precision team. What job do we do? Together we perform flexible and precise lookups. How we do our job: match searches a list and returns the position of an item. It returns its relative position. X match does the same job but adds more powerful search options, such as searching from the bottom, exact or approximate matching, and greater flexibility. Index then uses the position returned by match or X match to retrieve the value from another list or table. One function finds where the record is, the other returns the information from that location. Before XLOOKUP, index and match were the preferred advanced lookup method, and they are still widely used in business spreadsheets today. So these functions are still important for advanced and legacy workbooks. Typical business uses: older financial models and reporting packs, advanced lookup formulas, two-way lookups using rows and columns, workbooks built before XLOOKUP existed, modern workbooks requiring X-Match's enhanced search capabilities, complex analysis files inherited from other users. Why learn us? Understanding us helps you read, repair, and improve many serious business spreadsheets. We also give you more control over lookups than many simpler functions. If you remember one thing, match or XMatch finds the position. Index returns the value. Tier 3. Useful supporting functions. These functions may not be used every day, but they solve common business problems quickly and are worth having in every Excel user's toolkit. They are practical functions that Office users encounter regularly. If error. What it does. Returns an alternative result whenever a formula generates an error. Typical business uses. Display friendly messages instead of error values. Produce cleaner reports and dashboards. Dated if. What it does. Calculates the difference between two dates in years, months, or days. Typical business uses. Employee length of service. Customer or patient age. Time between two business events. End of month. What it does. Returns the last day of a month before or after a specified date. Typical business uses. Month-end reporting. Accounting periods. Payment due dates. Large. What it does. Returns the nth largest value in a list. Typical business uses. Highest sales values. Ranking reports. Small. What it does. Returns the nth smallest value in a list. Typical business uses. Bottom performing products. Ranking reports. Today. What it does. Returns today's date and updates automatically whenever the workbook recalculates. Typical business uses. Days overdue. Days remaining until a deadline. Age calculations. Dynamic reports. Now. What it does. Returns the current date and time. Typical business uses. Timestamps. Time-based calculations. Activity tracking. Text join. What it does. Combines text from multiple cells using a chosen separator. Typical business uses. Full names. Complete addresses. Email distribution lists. Report headings. Round. What it does. Rounds a number to the specified number of decimal places. Typical business uses. Financial reports. Currency calculations. Unit prices. Forecasts and budgets. Subtotal. What it does. Calculates totals that automatically ignore filtered out rows. Typical business uses. Filtered tables. Summary reports. Dashboards. Dynamic totals. Aggregate. What it does performs calculations while optionally ignoring hidden rows, errors, and other subtotals. Typical business uses. Advanced reports. Error-tolerant calculations. Filtered data analysis. Dynamic summary tables. Transpose. What it does. Converts rows into columns or columns into rows. Typical business uses. Rearranging imported data. Changing report layouts. Preparing pivot table source data.
Whether you're looking to improve your own Excel skills or train an entire team, we've built a practical course for real-world Excel users. Our 6-level online program takes learners from beginner to advanced and now includes using Excel with AI, ensuring every skill level is covered. For businesses and universities, we support groups from 3 users to over 1,000. Managers can track progress, monitor results, and see team performance in real time. Course levels include online exams, and learners who achieve 75% receive an automatically generated CPD-certified Excel certificate. Individual and corporate group licenses available. Learn Excel. Work faster.